All right, so for hot flashes, I want to ask you about, so one of the most common things is hot flashes. I can't stand, I have hot flashes. Why are hot flashes? What is happening with hot flashes? What do we know why there is hot flashes even exist?
Right. It's like what I've learned. There's something about I think it's when estrogen drops, or maybe when it just shifts, it will cause vasoconstriction.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it goes back to where it was, it'll cause vasodilation.
Yeah.
So there's this two-part harmony. When I was having my hot flashes, I think what was happening is in the vasoconstriction, it would tighten the blood vessels up. I would get a feeling of impending doom.
Mm-hmm.
I would just, oh my gosh, life is over.
Yeah, that's what I feel when I got hot flushes. Yeah, you're like, yeah, it's a panic, like, oh my God.
Oh my God, what is that?
Yeah.
So then seconds later, I get a hot flash, and the doom would be released seconds. But every time I experienced the doom, I would forget that, oh, it's going to be better in a few seconds. It was like, it was like torture.
Yeah. So then hot flashes then are this constriction and then release. But then, so then why is it that you sweat? Is it because there's imbalance in your system is like trying to balance it? And so it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. When you have heat in the body, you release heat by sweating.
Okay, so because of the constriction.
Vasodilation and constriction, yeah.
That's what it's like something, I'm hot, like I need to release something, sweat.
Right. Yeah, it definitely, sweating is the way we balance our body temperature. Because the sweat comes to the surface. If the air temperature against the sweat is less than your body temperature, it'll be cooling.
I see. Okay, so that's why in your book you're saying like the way that so that's why you're sweating. And at night, is there a reason why at night and during your menstrual cycles that it's worse? Hot flashes?
It's hard to say. I mean, what I think it is during the day, if you're drinking water and eating food, you dampen down.
Oh, right. Yeah, like you're saying if you're hot, like you can basically, with the surrounding temperature around you and what you're drinking, you can moderate it. But at night, you can't control those things.
Right.
Interesting.
So during the day, you're unconsciously controlling it. And, you'll see women, they'll dress in layers.
Right.
And all of a sudden, without even thinking about it, they're taking off a layer because they're starting to feel hot. But yeah, at night, you're just
right, you can't moderate your temperature. Right. That's why. Okay. So do we know so we don't really know what hot flashes are, aside from that there's just imbalance. We don't really know what's causing it. It could be it's a multitude of factors. That could be your endocrine system, too many toxins from the outside. I mean, and the other thing is, how long do they last? Again, is there a formula for how long they last?
No, there really isn't. And I think one of the main factors causing them is adrenal stress. Like when your adrenal glands are weakened, and what I say, they're trigger happy, then a little bit of a shock can surge you with adrenaline and make you start to have a hot flash. And the treatment for adrenals is the sodium in the sea salt water and magnesium. And also the B vitamins are important.
So those things can mitigate it. So there's you're going to have these symptoms regardless, but you can actually mitigate how bad the symptoms are by doing these, the mineralization, the water, those kind of things.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. And why weight gain and hair loss, vaginal dryness? Again, it's because of the balance of these things.
Weight gain and hair loss, I put that into the hypothyroid bucket.
Oh.
That's where if you gave, listed off the, 24 menopause symptoms, I'd say, well, that's more yeast. So that's adrenals. That's thyroid.
Ah, interesting. Okay, got it. So it's a thyroid thing about weight. You said weight gain is a thyroid thing?
And hair loss.
And hair loss. Okay, so what is the thyroid doing to cause weight gain and hair loss?
Well, the thyroid is your metabolic, it's your metabolic on and off switch. So it's creating the metabolism in your cells. If it's slowed down, your metabolism is slowed down, you don't burn as much calories, you don't make as much energy, you can get constipated, weight gain, and sugar imbalances because you're not metabolizing properly.
Oh.
And in the worst case, I remember, I made an incredible diagnosis when I think it was like my first year of practice, because I diagnosed this older woman with thyroid myxedema.
Mm-hmm.
Her thyroid was so low that her whole body was swelling up with weight and with fluid retention. And she had myxedema with her heart even. And it was textbook. It was just incredible.
Interesting.
But, yeah, she'd been misdiagnosed for decades.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember I said that when I was 45, I'm now 52. When I'm 45, I gained a bunch of weight. And then when I gained all of that weight, I started having hot flashes and a lot of the symptoms that you get from hormonal imbalance. And that's what led me to the bioidentical hormones. But I think it may have just been from, I don't know if it's if the weight gain and my bad diet was causing it and making everything kind of get 100%
worse. What happens with weight gain is the fat cells are repositories for toxins.
Mm-hmm.
So when you gain weight, you pull in and hold on to more toxins. But the body still has to metabolize them. The cells will go through their life cycle and die off, and the toxins will get in your bloodstream, and your body has to detoxify them. So it's a toxicity factor. And then, could be because your liver's so busy detoxifying, it's not busy enough making your hormones. Also, if you're not eating the right fats, you're going to be making your hormones out of crappy fats, or not making them at all.
Right.
I mean, there's many things, but again, why focus on a half a dozen possibilities when just detoxify and try to lose some weight?
I just didn't know. The doctor's like, well, you must be going. It's exactly like you said. They said, oh, how old are you? I'm like 45. I'm like, oh, you must be experiencing early perimenopause. Why don't you try these bioidentical hormones? Because you're gaining weight and you're feeling sluggish, all those kind of things. And I think it was kind of this alchemy of thing, right? I was gaining weight probably because I had a thyroid. I mean, it was just a matter of probably eating right, because what was interesting is I took those bioidentical hormones. They did work for a period of time, and then I lost a whole bunch of weight and I learned how to eat properly, and I think that got me back into hormone regularity. And now from age 45 to 51, I didn't have any perimenopausal symptoms because I just changed all those things. So it's kind of a testament to what you're saying, which is if you can change your diet and eat the right things and do the right things for your body will correct itself. But again, the doctors thought I had perimenopause. They had me on biomedical.
I know that's the dilemma with looking at things the way I do natural medicine. And when I see a diaper rash, that's usually yeast. They'll treat it with cortisone. That makes more yeast. And so the yeast will cause throat infections and ear infections in the child. More antibiotics.
Right.
More antibiotics means magnesium deficiency, especially like Cipro, fluoroquinolone drugs. And then you lose your magnesium, you start to get asthma symptoms.
Right, it's like a whole rolling.
It just is unbelievable. And then, your menopausal years are worse if your adrenals are stressed and your thyroid is deficient.
Yeah.
I had a really bad hot flush menopause because I was under enormous stress in Manhattan, I was doing AIDS research at a time when, nobody was doing alternative medicine for AIDS. And, there are a lot of factors. Even just living in New York is stressful.
Right, it's full of toxins.
Yeah. So everybody has their reasons for having a early menopause, and the treatment is not just to do bioidenticals.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that I read your book when I did, because seriously, I'm right at the point where if I can do all the things that you mentioned, and it's not just for hormones, it's for my overall system. I feel like at this point at age 52 that if I just get all this stuff figured out, that I'm going to have a much better life at 62, 72, 82, 92, maybe 102.
Right.
But you got to take care of yourself. Like if you don't take care of yourself, then it's just like this rapid declining hill where you're taking 300 to 500 pills. I mean, like that is nightmarish for me to hear that.
And what was her main problem? Digestion.
That is hilarious. That's funny. That's funny. Thank you so much. Thanks for staying afterwards to answer all these questions. It means so much to me that you're listening to the show. I would love your support in any way by giving me comments below, or to subscribe to the show, or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.